Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Tiger, and we are back with part 3 of the PlayStation 2 collection. I thought I'd get another part done today because I'm going to be away come Friday for a couple of weeks, so yeah, there probably won't be any more collection videos while I'm away, but there might be a couple of videos while I'm down there. I will be streaming tonight, going to be playing some Overwatch and maybe a little bit of Gears 5 Hivebuster DLC. I did manage to beat Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, so maybe I could do a little review on that while I'm away. It'd be a pretty one to talk about. And I did manage to beat the Gears of War 5 campaign again, playing as Jack with my friends. So that's why we started the Hivebusters DLC. But without further ado, let's just come straight into the next part. First, we have The Godfather on PS2 in a steelbook case. I don't have many steelbooks on the PS2, but yeah, the Godfather games are actually not too bad. They're not amazing, but they're pretty cool games if you like sort of open world games. Reservoir Dogs, based on the movie. I hear this game's quite short. The Sopranos, Road to Respect, another show, a game based on a TV show. I never actually watched The Sopranos, so I wouldn't know whether it's good or not. We have a game that's still sealed here, Shogun's Blade, a budget Dynasty Warriors or Devil Kings budget game, but it's still sealed, which is pretty cool actually. I don't normally keep many games sealed, but no point opening it up yet until I decide to play it. Then we have the original Mafia. I'm debating on whether I should play through this before I play the remake, which I might actually do. I might actually play this before I play the remake. But I do like the Mafia games. Made Man, this is basically, it's kind of like a Max Payne style game, but not as good. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Then we have Showdown, Legends of Wrestling, made by Acclaim with some classic wrestling. I've heard good things about this game. I heard that it's actually a really fun little wrestling game. I love going back and playing old school wrestling games with friends and stuff like that. I just have a great time with them. WWE Crush Hour. This is basically Monster Jam with WWE themed cars and stuff like that and characters. It's really cool that, you know, WWE really did used to experiment back in the day. Nowadays they're just not so great. SmackDown Just Bring It, SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, the SmackDown trilogy on PlayStation 2. Often considered, Here Comes the Pain is often considered to be the best in the series. And a lot of people consider this to be one of the best wrestling games of all time. But let me know in the comments below which WWE game do you think is the best. SmackDown vs. Raw. I actually find that this one is one of my all-time favourite wrestling games. I used to love this game growing up. And then we have CT Special Forces, Fire for Effect, part of the Counter-Terrorist series. I believe on Game Boy these were like sort of Metal Slug clones on Game Boy, but this is a first-person shooter. Miami Vice. I've heard this game isn't that great, but I never watched the show or the movie, so. Then we have Constantine, the video game. I've never actually watched the movie. I hear the game's not terrible. Then we have the Simpsons game. I absolutely love this game back on the Xbox 360. Used to play this all the time with my brothers. It's a great co-op game. I think this is the best Simpsons game of all time. A lot of people say Hit or Run's the best one. It's between that and this. I like to say that this one's just... I find this one better, to be honest. A bit more linear, but it definitely has more variety to it, that's for sure. Then we have Scarface, The World Is Yours. This is actually a really, really good game. Even if you've never watched the movie, this game is absolutely fantastic. Such an underrated open world game. So much to do in this game. Really good. I highly recommend it. We have SmackDown versus Raw 2006. Absolutely awesome game. You know, SmackDown versus Raw were really good back in the day. They had so much going for them. And they really ruined it with the new WWE games, in my opinion. They just took away what made them so fun. 2007, got Triple H there on the front. Then we have SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, Undertaker, John Cena and Bobby Lashley. It's funny that all of these people actually still, well, maybe not John Cena, but these two kind of still wrestle. I know Undertaker's kind of retired now, but Bobby Lashley is back in WWE, that's for sure. Gunfighter 2, Revenge of Jesse James. This is a light gun game made by Rebellion. I hear this isn't actually a bad game, but I've never played it yet. Unfortunately, you cannot play light gun games on a HD TV. NBA Jam. This is the sort of sports games that I'm into. Arcadey, non-realistic. What more do you want? Gun. Before we had Red Dead Redemption, we had Gun. I actually loved this game back in the day. It still sort of holds up. But after you played Red Dead Redemption, going back and playing Gun is a massive downgrade, unfortunately. But for what it is, it wasn't a bad game at the time. Intellivision Lives. This game is absolutely terrible. I have nothing against the Intellivision. I don't have any nostalgia for it because it was before my time. But it just doesn't work very well on the PlayStation 2. Because you had those old, you know, telephone style controllers. Unfortunately, they didn't translate it very well to the Intellivision PS2. But there are some funny little games on here, though, if you want to sort of see what you missed out on, I guess. Then we have the Midway Arcade Treasures Trilogy 1, 2 and 3. Absolutely fantastic collection of games. The third one only includes 8 games, but these include 20. But the reason this one includes 8 because it has Hydro Thunder on here, and that's a pretty big game in its own right. But these are great games, just awesome. You know, this one has a Smash TV on here. This one has like Rampage and Total Carnage. Really fun selection compilation here. If you're looking for some arcade experiences, you can't go wrong with Midway Arcade Treasures. We have Space Invaders Anniversary. This includes, I believe, 9 different versions of Space Invaders. I like Space Invaders, but do I need to play multiple versions of it? Not really. Space Invaders is Space Invaders. Then we have Taito Legends 1 and 2. AVGN did a video on this not too long ago. There are some good games on here. There are some bad ones. It's a bit of a mix and match. There's a lot of weird ones on here. But, you know, there are some cool ones on here as well. So, yeah. Cool stuff. Again, Taito. Then we have Capcom's Classic Collection. This is, again, another great selection of classic Capcom games. Got great ones like Street Fighter 2 on there, the 1942 series. Lots of great stuff there. Then we have Atari Anthology. This includes 85 Atari games. It includes 18 classic arcade and 67 2600 games. Again, well before my time, but if you want to play some classic Atari games without needing to go out and buy an old TV and an old Atari and stuff, this isn't a bad way to go. I believe it was also on the original Xbox as well. We have Lego Bionicle. Bionicle used to be like a story-driven Lego thing back in the day, and I remember them as a kid, and it kind of went away. It just went away. I don't know why exactly they went away. They just went away. The game's just sort of like a action platformer. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's amazing or anything. Bionicle Heroes, on the other hand, this actually plays more like a third-person shooter. But actually, it's the first one that was made by TT Games, and kind of is a combination of a third-person shooter and the more traditional Lego games that we know and love today. Then we have Star Trek Voyager Elite Force. I've never actually watched Star Trek Voyager, so I wouldn't know, but the Borg are in this, so I've heard this isn't a bad game, actually. Then we have the 2 Lego Star Wars games. Loved these growing up as a kid. I can't wait for the Lego Star Wars Skywalker saga. I know that game's going to be really fun, but these are still pretty great games to go back and play today. Lego Football Mania. This isn't a bad game. There are better arcadey football games out there, but this one's a bit of a laugh if you've got someone to play it with. We have Lego Indiana Jones. Again, Bethesda have actually announced that there's a new Indiana Jones coming out, being made by Bethesda. So, kind of interesting to see how that one's going to work out. And Lego Racers 2. This was a cool game because you got to make your own little cars and stuff and race. I remember Legoland back in the day actually had a Lego Racers like ride you could go on and play the original Lego Racers. Then we have Arcade Classic Volume 1. These are just rip-offs of arcade games. I wouldn't really put any money into this one. They're just rip-offs. Then we have Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. I have 2 copies of Battlefront 2. One of them is a variant. But these games, what can I say other than these are some of the best Star Wars games you'll ever play. Just amazing games. I did like the new ones, but these ones are, in my opinion, the go-to Star Wars game. If you got this on PC, I highly recommend playing it on PC because there are thousands of awesome mods for it. But you can't go wrong with Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Bounty Hunter, another game that actually went under the radar back in the day, but this game is really good. You know, Jango Fett was such an awesome character, and it was nice that they sort of expanded on his character in his own game. A lot of people are asking for a new Bounty Hunter game, either with Boba Fett or The Mandalorian. I think there was a sequel planned for this game with Boba Fett. I just think that they lost, it got cancelled or something. I'm not too sure. Star Wars Starfighter. This is a flight game based on Episode 1, or during the time of Episode 1. We have Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, another Starfighter game. You know, Star Wars has many types of games. You've got the action, hack and slash, you've got the shooting ones, and then you've got the flight games. Star Wars The Clone Wars. This is kind of like a combination of third-person shooter, flight, and vehicle combat game. It's not based on the Clone Wars TV show. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I actually beat this game on PS2 and it's not bad. The Xbox version is much better, but the PS2 version does have some sort of single parts about it. Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Absolutely loved this game growing up. Really cool game. One of my favourite parts about this game is the one-on-one fighting mode that you can do. If you got a friend to play this with, the one-on-one fighting mode is really good. And then we have Star Wars Racers Revenge. A lot of people say that Pod Racer is the better game to get play. And you can get Pod Racer on PS4 now. So I'll have to play the PS4 version of Pod Racer and then try this one out and see which one is better. Star Wars Super Bombard Racing. This was actually the last Star Wars game that I had to find. And I finally found it last year, a couple of years ago. This is basically like Star Wars Mario Kart. Then we have the Sims series, the original Sims. Sims Busting Out. The Sims 2. The Sims 2 Castaway. The Sims 2 Pets. And the Herbs Sims in the City. Absolutely love the Sims games. Now the best part is the console versions are nothing like the PC version. So these games are standalone things. Now the Sims 2... what was great about this game is you actually got to control your character with the normal, like moving your character around using the analog stick rather than the sort of point and click style. But all of these games are really fun. They have story modes, like you start off in one house and you move up in places like that. Castaway was a cool one and sort of threw in some survival elements. But just be aware there's only just be aware that the only ones that have 2-player are Sims 1, Busting Out 2, and herbs. Sims 2 Pets and Sims 2 Castaway do not have 2-player, which I was a bit ashamed that they didn't do that, but I think Sims 2 Pets didn't really have campaign in it either. But I love these games. I need to go back and play more herbs because I started that but I never finished it. The same with normal Sims. Then we have Hitman 2 and Hitman Blood Money. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of the Hitman games. I understand that a lot of people love these games and they are pretty good games in their own rights, but I'm just really not that great at them. So, not really my sort of game, but still. Then we have Def Jam Vendetta, a game that a lot of people are asking for a new Def Jam game. These games were awesome, action, arcadey, fighting game with wrestling, sort of wrestling to them. Really fun game, over the top. Recommend it if you're into those sort of things. Then we have the Legends of Wrestling games. These are not that great. They're not the worst wrestling games you'll ever play, but I'd say stick to SmackDown vs. Raw. Then we have Backyard Wrestling 1 and 2. I actually loved playing Backyard Wrestling as a kid with my brothers, but I actually recently tried this one out and had a really tough time trying to do the single player part of the game. It was actually surprisingly challenging, but these games were notoriously over the top with violence and things back in the day, so yeah. Then we have Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow and the normal Splinter Cell game. Again, much like Hitman, I never really got into the Splinter Cell games. I know that these games are really good, and again, a lot of people are asking for a new one. But you know, Splinter Cell, really a respected stealth game in the thing. And much the same with Tenchu Wrath of Heaven. Tenchu is another game that a lot of people are asking for a new one. You know, a lot of people said that Neo and Sekiro were kind of like you know, spiritual successors to Tenchu, but I wouldn't really say that's true. Tenchu was a stealth-driven game more so than an action game. And then we have Rogue Ops, another sort of action stealth game. And then we have the what I like to call the master of stealth games, the Metal Gear Solid series. We have here Sons of Liberty and Subsistence, and then Metal Gear Solid 3 and 3 Substance. In my opinion, Metal Gear Solid, the Metal Gear Solid on PS2, all 4 of these games are great. The only difference between these 2 versions, they come with some extra content. These were like the Game of the Year editions, if you can call them that. Come with like bonus modes and things like that. But these games are absolutely fantastic. Metal Gear Solid 3, in my opinion, is the best Metal Gear Solid game of all time. Because, you know, the whole survival aspect of the game, you know, being in the woods and, you know, customizing, you know, wearing the right sort of gear and the face paint and all that, and having to hunt animals and eat and stuff like that. These games were absolutely amazing. Amazing stories. Break the fourth wall quite a bit at some point. Great boss fights. Excellent story writing. Excellent characters. David Hayter was amazing as Solid Snake. And Big Boss, of course. And very emotional games. These are the games that a lot of people got emotionally attached to the characters in this game, especially in 3. But again, a lot of people are asking for a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake, but I'd love to see them bring out a full collection on the PS4 with every single Metal Gear Solid game, even if it's in a HD remake again. I don't know, I'd just love to see maybe a PS5 or a PS4 version of Metal Gear Solid, especially 3. I think 3 would benefit the most, but can't hate on Metal Gear Solid. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't actually beat many of these games, but I used to love watching my brother play them. I used to play them myself, but great games, and these are what make stealth games stealth games. But there we have it. That is part 3 of the PlayStation 2 collection. A bit more of a variety here, a lot of action games and things here, so getting into the good stuff. Like I said, I'm going to be away come Friday, so if there are any videos, it won't be the traditional these sort of videos. There might be a couple of reviews. I might do a review on Jedi Fallen Order, maybe some other stuff. I'm probably going to take my PS4 down with me, play a couple of games down there. I might try and beat Yakuza 3 and play some ESO and stuff. But anyway, I will be live tonight after 7 playing some Overwatch and then possibly some Gears of War Hive Busters on Gears 5. But if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and, of course, comment below. Let me know what you've been playing recently. Let me know what, if any of these games here need special attention. I always like to know more about what I don't know about. And as always, subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. And as always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Mad Kiger and on Twitch, where I'll be streaming again tonight. And as always, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.